drop shoulder roll. It's kind of like your normal shoulder roll, but you're going to drop off of an object. It's going to be super exciting. Are you ready? I'm gonna take that as a yeah. My name's Justin Taylor. I'm super manly, and today you are Firestone free running, and we're gonna do the drop shoulder roll. Drop shoulder roll. All right, guys. So for the drop shoulder roll, right?
Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, it's time to do your drop shoulder roll. All right, you gotta be super buff, like the Hulk up there. If you look at him, he's ready to drop down and smash into a shoulder roll.
Although honestly, you shouldn't smash. You should be quiet like a ninja. So when you drop down onto an object or onto anything you're doing, you're dropping down, you're gonna be doing your shoulder roll. We did a whole super long tutorial on shoulder rolls with a bunch of different ways to practice and do those drills. So you're gonna wanna go and watch that video first because it's gonna lay the foundation of what we're gonna talk about today. But for the drop shoulder roll, that basically means I'm not just standing on the ground, getting ready and practicing my shoulder roll. Instead, what it means is I'm gonna be coming off of an object. And we're gonna start today with a small little 3.5 foot tall object. We're gonna drop down to the ground, absorb, and use that momentum into our shoulder roll. You can imagine from this height, I can jump down, I can land, no problem. If I suddenly come up here and I jump down and I'm trying to land with my feet, doable, but still, that's about 8 feet. That's gonna start to hurt. If I go over to one of our 10 foot or 12 foot walls, there's no way I'm gonna jump down and try to land on my feet and stick my landing. I'm gonna use that momentum and turn it into a roll to disperse all of the inertia. So it's not just going through my legs, into my bones and my spine and making me cry like a little baby man. All right, I want to do the roll to protect myself and get rid of all of that energy. 60-second breakdown for the drop shoulder roll, here we go. All right, in our drop shoulder roll, we're gonna be coming off an object and dropping to the ground. When we're dropping, our goal is to get a little bit of forward momentum because it will allow us to roll easier. I don't wanna drop straight down, I wanna try to be moving forward. When I land, I can land either with my feet together or a slight, small split step. None of this wide stuff, no big lunges, okay? I wanna be able to use both legs in my roll. As I'm doing this, I want to be leaning forward so my shoulders are past my toes. We're gonna bring the hands in and go into our normal shoulder roll technique from here. I wanna make sure you're quiet, none of this Hulk smash stuff. We wanna be on the tips of our toes, using our legs like shock absorbers to absorb and push forward into my roll. All right? Let's get a little more detailed.
Darkwing Duck.
It's danger time. Is it? No, let's get dangerous, that's what it was. Man.
What?
It's not, let's get, he goes, let's get dangerous.
Talking about your old...
Dude, Darkwing Duck from DuckTales? Are you serious right now? Next you're gonna tell me you don't know who the Ninja Turtles are.
What are the Transformers, coach? I've never heard of this thing called a bumblebee. What's a bumblebee, coach? Oh my God, Pokemon, what's that? Is that like a Pikachu?
So a couple of things that are important. When I jump down off this object, I am not going to, as our illustrious friend the Hulk did, I am not gonna land and try to smash. What I want to hear is the sound that a ninja makes when you land. What sound does a ninja make? Let's listen for it. Perfect. Do you hear that? That was it. What'd you hear? Nothing. Because why? Because ninjas don't make noise. Quick ninja joke. Which are the worst ninjas? The Japanese ones. Why? They're the only ninjas you've ever heard about. Every country has ninjas. The Japanese ones just aren't that good. Why? Because you know about them, not true ninjas. But I digress. So we're gonna drop down. We are going to land and try to absorb as much as we can with our legs. Now you can imagine if I'm jumping from high, I don't want to absorb straight down into my roll because all I'm gonna do is go straight down and slam myself into the ground. What we actually want to be doing as we do our drop shoulder roll is making sure that we are leaning forward with our shoulders well in front of our feet. What happens here is as we land, I'm going to absorb and fall towards my hands. Now you can imagine if I just fall into a push-up position. Let's start with this little guy right here, right? Okay, what I don't want to do is that straight jump down right here. That didn't work very well. All I did was slam my shoulder in the ground. When I first learned this, there was nobody teaching me. I made that mistake of trying to reach straight down between my hands and my shoulder roll way too many times. My shoulder did not appreciate that. What we want to be doing, even with this little jump right here, is as I land, you're gonna notice I'm gonna be leaning forward. to here, and I'm going to be reaching my hands out in front to fall. What I don't want to see is chin up and arms out into a push-up position. From here, I can't roll myself over. That does not feel good. I do not enjoy that. Instead, what I want to be doing is, if I can imagine where my hands would be for a push-up position, where my feet are, I want to reach around to that same area. But as I fall, I'm gonna let my back leg go up over my body, as well as pop my butt up in the air, just like your booty pop front flip drills. All right? What's gonna happen there is then, instead of falling into a push-up position, as my hands and shoulder goes down, my hips and butt will come up over my head like a tire or a ball that is rotating. The upper side goes down, the lower side goes up. So as I come here, even with this little jump, I come here, I'm rolling my butt and legs go up. There we go. You want to make sure if you start to practice this, you already have a really good shoulder roll from our first tutorial where your head is not touching the ground. All right? If you are doing your normal shoulder roll and your head is still striking the ground, all you're going to do is now jump from higher, come in with more force, and hit your head on the ground even more. As my dad would always say, you know, Justin, no big deal for you because no brains, no headaches.
Ouch, baby. Very ouch.
But for the rest of you smart young people, you probably don't want to be smacking your big old computer brain case on the ground. So you want to make sure you are turning your body, pulling your chin down into your armpit, looking behind you, hands out, absorbing. We're turning and pushing our shoulder that direction. Now, there's a little bit we want to talk about regarding our feet. Justin, a lot of times when we do stuff, we try to land with our feet together, right? If I'm doing a precision and then I slip and I go into my shoulder roll, should I be doing these big drop precisions with my feet together, my feet apart? It's a great question. So the answer is both. You have to figure out what works best for your body. Now, if we're straight absorbing, if we're dropping and absorbing onto something, I like to keep my feet together. Your legs together create one big strong leg. It's much easier to manage and keep your strength with one giant big strong leg than it is with two legs apart. What we definitely don't want to do is when we land, we don't want to be in like a squatting position with our feet are apart. We do not want this shoulder width feet apart thing. This is really good for if you're lifting weight and I'm squatting down and I'm standing up. That's for taking a lot of pressure and lifting weight, not absorbing your own dropping body weight. So we want either our feet together or we want what's called a split step. One foot slightly in front of the other. This will allow me to roll easily forward to set my hands on the ground and do my roll. What I don't want to see though is trying to land on one foot. Ah! Big lunge. Ah! That is not going to feel good. If you come down with a lot of force onto a hard object or your foot twists at all, you are going to break that ankle. You will be unhappy. What I personally like to do is a small split step. This allows me close together to absorb. I can still use both legs. And now I have a little bit of room to roll as I land. Roll 1 foot, 2 foot, and go. You can still do it with 2 feet. That's okay. For most people though, it's generally harder to turn your body and get a good shoulder roll. As always, I recommend trying both ones multiple times, figuring out which one works best for your body. If you watch my feet, this is my preferred method. Slight split, actually turned a little sideways. Not so much that I'm going to roll over the side of my foot, but just enough that it allows me to turn easier and quickly into my shoulder roll. So I come here, jump, and pop myself up. Remember, like you learned in your shoulder roll tutorial from our level 1 white rank parkour curriculum, when you do this one, 2 hands, diagonal, turn, tuck the chin. We're leading with the forearm and elbow this direction. And as I roll, the back leg is going to kick myself in the butt and is going to be the first one. Hand, that back leg, foot, other hand, front foot, kind of like our monkey gallops from last week, to push ourselves up and explode up. Once you get pretty good at this one, try the tutorial we did last week on monkey gallops, mix them together. Check it out. As I come in here, we'll practice. It's not exactly a drop, but I'll just do a big jump for right now. We'll jump into our shoulder roll. As we come up using those hands and feet, we can pop ourselves into our monkey gallop. I need a belt. I need a belt for this thing. It hates me so much. All right, guys, that is our drop shoulder roll. Try from small objects, slowly ramp it up. If you're just working on floor shoulder rolls, do not go outside and be like, that 8-foot wall, that looks pretty good, I think I'm gonna practice there. Start on lower objects. In fact, when you start to feel really good about just jumping off of a small object or stepping off, you can slowly build up higher. One thing I always recommend doing is put yourself in different weird positions as you practice. This is a thing to save your life. If you are going to do parkour and you are going to train, you are going to mess up. You are probably going to train outside, which means a lot of things are made out of concrete and wood and steel. You do not want to mess up on those. It's going to suck. You can practice in the gym where you're safe. But what I really recommend doing is if I'm on here, okay, I don't have to just stand and jump. I can stand right here and drop into my shoulder roll. I can try sitting and dropping into my shoulder roll. I can practice coming over here, getting myself into a cat, falling, whoop, into my shoulder roll. There's a lot of different ways you're going to slip and fall. Put yourself in a cat position. Put yourself in a 1-foot position. Balance on a rail. Do a vault and practice messing up and going into your shoulder roll. Practice everything conceivable, because I promise you, when you're out there in real life trying things, weird things are gonna happen, and you want to have that instinct built into your body to shoulder roll. Much like my motorcycle accident. When a truck suddenly cuts in front of you at 45 miles an hour and you go flying, you don't think, you want to have your body be able to react. So lots and lots of practice, both sides of your body. None of that only my good side stuff, okay? Or your bad side's gonna wreck you. Regardless, I love all your beautiful faces. And here we go, ready? I'm ready for the dance. Here we go. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Show every day that you care. That was the same rhyme I did last week. That did not work at all. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. I hope you don't get eaten by a bear when you're running away and you trip. Shoulder roll and...
Don't break your hip.
Don't break your hip. That's way better than where I was going to go with that. Goodbye. I'm out. Hey Bruce, do you smell smoke? I thought I heard